What a blessing it is to be here this evening. Thank you for all coming. It's really an honor to represent or honor Casper Garner. Casper came and he came to Baker. He played on our high school Baker championship team in 1964, I believe it was. 54. And he went on to play in the SEC. And when he played in the SEC, he was 5th in the SEC for the most shots, or the highest score. And he was an outside shooter. That was back in the days when they didn't have three-point shots out there. So instead of being 5th, he would have probably been 1st. Right, Coach? So I've been around him for the last 2 days, and I didn't know him before, but he's been an inspiration to me just in the last 2 days. He said to me today, he said, you know, being a Bakerite, we're all Bakerites, right? Being a Bakerite, it's in your blood. You can't let it go. And of course, behind him is Miss Geeen, who was always there supporting him and loving him and taking care of him and making him the man that he is, even though he won't admit it. Right, Coach? I'm kidding, of course. He went on due to health problems and left the coaching field in 1965. And he went to Pfizer and started selling pharmaceuticals. When he sold those pharmaceuticals, and in his own words, he said, "Those guys didn't think a coach could sell any pharmaceuticals, and they just laughed at me. But I showed them I'm a team player." And he got out there, and he went from Mobile to Denver he went all over the place. He ended up in the corporate world, and then was inducted into the Hall of Fame for pharmaceuticals. And he went to New York and received a Hall of Fame credentials, and he wears that on his hand right now. He's got a ring there, and we're really proud of him. I'm gonna have to look at this. He actually left the coaching field, and he didn't really want to, because he was on his way to a convention, and he fell over and collapsed into, well, I don't know the person's name he collapsed into, but they whisked him away in an ambulance, and then he was playing golf, if I know the story correctly, with Mike, Big Davis's son, Mike Davis, and Mike said, Mike was an endocrinologist, and he said, "Hey, Coach, it's not your heart, it's your neck." And next thing that happened, he's going in and checked that out, and they removed L7. Have you ever had a piece of your spine taken out? No. He had his spine taken out, and then he had a piece of his hip removed, and 14 operations later, and some wire and rods around his neck. He can stand up, and he's going to come up here in just a minute and whoop on me. But he has gotten up and he has moved on, and we're just so proud to honor you, not only as a Baker High graduate, but a coach. He taught while he was there, and he was a coach of football and basketball, but he also taught PE and some other thing. What was it, Coach, that you taught? History, that's it. History and PE. And, all I got to say is that we're honored tonight to have Casper. How long has it been since you've been called that name? A while. He was known as Casper, and we need to get Geeen up here to tell us the story of how that ever came about. But they called him Casper Carlton Garner. So, Coach, come on up here. We're going to honor you with the second Oscar P. Award. Don't hit that too hard. That's right. Okay.
I hate to kind of correct something, but actually that's spinal surgery didn't happen for years afterward. The reason he really left Baker was because we had a 10.5-pound baby boy, and the pediatrician told us that child was going to be 6 feet 7. And at the time, he was making $3,600 a year. And I looked at him and said, how are we going to feed and clothe that while you teach? We got to get a real job. So that's why I really left him at 5. The rest of it was pretty accurate. But it was not the lack of love, but the students, the boys that played and went to school. So just know how much he loved you. And there is a little story behind that. Anybody here remember Cecil Darby, who was the sports editor of the Columbus Ledger Enquirer? He chose the 4 people that he thought were the best players in the 4 major sports. And that one was the year that Baker won the state championship, and Colton was the one he chose. And when he retired, he gave us that picture. And it's 65, this is your 55th reunion. But it says that picture is 65 years old. I think that's truly Baker history. So there it is. And thank you so much for having us and for what you've done for me.
I tell you what, you just don't realize how much Boston I love Baker High School. Because I think if we look back on our youth and our time in Baker made us the men we are today. Because I still have Baker in my heart and in my mind, and I always will as long as I live. Because I know this, if it hadn't been for Baker High School and Coach Bubba Ball, I would have never achieved the level of success I obtained in business with Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. Because I left coaching. Because I felt like I was a better salesman than I was a coach. You know, you've got to find out what you're good at. And I found out I didn't like to be an assistant coach. I wanted to be a head coach. So since I couldn't do it, I went on with Pfizer and became a national manager. So I could stay. But anyway, but I still love Baker. It still has part of my heart, and I always will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What a nice time. We have something very awarded that does not know that they're going to get it tonight. His name is Paul Voorhees. Paul Voorhees is our honorary chairperson for this committee for this 1964 55th reunion. And we're going to thank him so much tonight. But let me read a couple of things about him. Can you hear me? Say yes.
Yeah.
Come up with something.
Thank you.
Paul Voorhees graduated in the class of 1964 from Baker High School. Did you know that he played on the football team at Baker High School? But here's something that's very unique. He dressed out every single day, and he worked out and played every single day. But did you know he did not play any games at all? Right? He played every day but the game day. He wore a 74 uniform, 74 woman. Guess whose it was? Ishmael, there he is. Yeah, Jimmy knows it. That was one little thing I had to say first. We call Paul Voorhees Chaplain Paul Voorhees because he graduated from Southeastern Bible College in Lakeland, Florida. He is an ordained minister and in the Southeastern Baptist Association and the Christian Life Network. He traveled to South America and overseas he built churches, and I'm talking about brick and mortar churches, y'all. He also talked to the United States of America troops when he was over in certain areas. He's compassionate with children and disabled children. And that's his legacy here in Columbus, Georgia, and all over the world. Paul and his wife, Janice, who own the famous Ranger Joe, who sells military and law enforcement gear. Ranger Joe started with Paul's daddy on Broadway. Do you remember that logo? And it was a tiny little store. They got bigger and bigger. And as I got bigger, they decided to have that little small place on Victory Drive. And then that place got too little, and it got bigger and bigger. Well, now he has become a mega universal company online and in Amazon also. Paul is a chaplain for the Georgia legislature, doing the opening invocations on Thursdays. He is the chaplain also for Harris County law enforcement. He organized also, along with some more people, the Back the Blue. That is to support the law enforcement agencies. That would be the police here in Columbus, Georgia. It's called Back the Blue. Very important to us in Columbus, Georgia. Paul is a chief financial officer for the Georgia Marshals Training Network. You know, Joe Coley, sitting over there on that table right there, was a co-producer of Paul, and with Paul producing at the Ranger Joe's God to Country radio show on the weekdays. It's like 96.1, the Dove radio station. Well, they talked about politics, but they always had a lot of humor in that politics, which was really fascinating when you listened to them. And they also bragged about Jesus a lot. I loved it. You see. We have, Paul has always had a lot of humor. He's funny about everything. He'll take something and turn it upside down and make it even funnier than anything. But Paul has been honored and awarded for several place things, military-wise, Christian, or humanity awards, locally and nationally. There are so many things I could say about him. I don't have enough pieces of paper to put it on. So I'm just going to announce him here. We're honoring him. He said, he stopped. He said, he is our chaplain, and we call him Chaplain Paul Voorhees. We honor you tonight, not only as our honorary chairperson of this wonderful time tonight, but we're giving you the Oscar P. Boyles Award.
I didn't graduate with you. I went to Turner at night, and we started Ranger Joe's. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Ranger Joe's has been an enabler for me to go around the world 12 times, been to Iraq 3 times, and had prayer meetings. But the one thing is, I want to just leave you with one little story. I left our store one night, and I was going home, and I forgot something. So I turned around and went back to the store. This was when it was on Broadway. The front door was unlocked, the night light was on, and my dad was in the back. And I walked back there, and he had his hands in the air, and he was praying. And he said, "Paul, come over here." And we went around and prayed different parts of that store. He said, "God sends every customer to us." And I said, I was growing. You know, he was still teaching me and leading me. And we've been a faith-based business for almost 57 years now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul. We're honored to have you here tonight. Now we're going to turn the program over to Barbara Gilbert, and she's going to go through our superlatives at Baker High School.
Okay, y'all might be wondering how I got this gig. Well, let me just tell you. When you volunteer to be on a committee and you don't show up at a meeting, they volunteer you for something. And this is what I got volunteered for. Next time I'll show up at the meeting. Okay, we want to go over the superlatives from the class of 64. Okay, our officers. And I tell you what, when I mention your name, if you want to wave or stand up, please feel free to do so. Sophomore year, 1962, our president was David Harmon. Our vice president, Linda Sewell. Secretary, Sissy Witt. Treasurer, Ronnie Ogletree. And historian, Ed Schumacher. And I don't believe any of them are here tonight. Is that correct? Okay. Junior year, 1963, President David Harmon, Vice President Ronnie Ogletree, Secretary Sissy Witt, and Treasurer Linda Sewell. Our senior year, 1964, President Ronnie Ogletree, Vice President Steve Davis, Secretary Linda Sewell, and Treasurer Warren Bowden. Okay, next, the Court of Beauty. I wasn't pretty enough to be in this, so. Okay, our Court of Beauty, Sue Richburg, and I believe Susan's got one right now. John Bowles, don't believe John's here. Jody Malello, my good friend and buddy. Ronnie Ogletree, Linda Sewell, Warren Boland, Annette Johnson, Lenny Shores, Neil McLean, Ann Valentine. She was one of my really good friends in elementary school. Delo Sanderson, Jill Valentine, Carol Norris, Steve Davis, Chi-Chi Houston, Lindy Williams, B.J. Hogg, and Jimmy Lawrence. I know Jimmy's here. Our cheerleaders from 1959 to 1964. 8th through the 12th grade. I know some of us were there 8th through 12th. I was. Varsity cheerleading squad. Joni Malello. B.J. Hogg. Sissy Witt. Linda Sewell. Becky White. The B-team cheerleaders. Annette Johnson. Gwyneth Johnson, Gwen Adams, Linda Blair, Betty Howard, Sandra Johnson, Tony Rankin, and Dawn Underwood. Okay, now we'll go to sports. Football teams, 8th through the 12th grade. Tommy Bassett, Paul Ferguson, Jimmy Lawrence, Donnie Melton, Lenny Shores, Danny Vining, and Paul Voorhees. Basketball, Thomas Bass, Tommy Bassett, Paul Ferguson. Okay, baseball. Paul Ferguson, Donnie Melton, Lenny Shores, and Danny Vining. Track team, Lenny Shores, Tommy Bass. Tennis team, Andy Hatley. Okay, band, me. I feel sorry for Jen. She sat next to me in band. I must have been the worst flute player that Baker ever had.
But you tried.
And the worst oboe player too. I really wasn't interested in playing the flute and the oboe. I was only interested in twirling, so that's the next category, majorettes. That's me. I might be 73, but I can still twirl. Okay. Military. ROTC, Charles Watley. And ROTC sponsors, that was me, I was second lieutenant. You know, and back then, we could only be a sponsor. Of course, now the girls can be real second lieutenants. So that's our superlatives for our class of 64. Gwinnett, am I supposed to introduce all our guests? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. By the way, I just want to say, I feel like I did very little on the committee, but the rest of the committee really worked hard to make this a real success. So our guests this evening, who were not members of our class, but our special guest, Foster Watkins, Carlton Garner, Gene Garner, Ed Lambert, Joanne Lambert, Pete O'Dell, our fabulous DJ, David Phillips, and Cindy Fucci-Johns. I've known Cindy since way back in elementary school. She went to school with my younger brother. I'm the old one in the family. I've got two younger brothers. And I just wanted to mention Paul. I've known Paul, I guess, since first grade. Right, Paul? And Paul and I used to have fun square dancing together in elementary school. I just had to mention that. I love square dancing. We had a blast, didn't we, Paul?
Tell them the truth. Nobody wanted to dance with her because she was too tall. Nobody wanted to dance with me because I was too short. So we did it together.
Yep. I think I've been this tall since I was about 10 years old. So I think my part's over. Thank goodness.
With very little introduction, I'm going to introduce someone very special that you all know. That's why you're here. Because the next person started the 1955 class reunion for 64 with great enthusiasm and compassion for Baker High School and all of our friends. It's with great pleasure that I announce that this one goes to the one with the best Baker High spirit, the queen of the hop, and my identical twin sister, Gwinnett Garner. Baby, for all your work. Now you go to sleep.
I cannot let Paul Voorhees have the last word on the floor. I've become a college professor. And over the years, I let my hair grow longer and longer and longer. Back then, I used to make everybody cut it real close. Janice made me go get a haircut to come tonight so I would look like the coach that y'all used to know. And y'all have to know that the athletics, the cheerleaders, the band, the majorettes were a big part of Baker High School. I would like for everybody to stand up in this room who was either an athlete, a cheerleader, or a majorette, or played in the band. Stand up right now. I want to see you stand up. My coach